Hello everyone, you're welcome back to Yinka Ladies Place once again. My name is Yinka. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing us how to make off-shoulder jumpsuit. And please kindly watch this video to the end because I'm going to be showing you some interesting way of wearing this jumpsuit at the end of this video. And to our new subscriber, you're welcome to the channel. To the old subscriber, I love you all. A big shout out to every one of you. I love you so much. Alright, so here are the measurements we're going to be using for this tutorial. So we are going to be cutting the upper part of our jumpsuit first. So first fold your fabric into two. Then after that you fold it over again into four. We are cutting both the front and the back together. So please kindly fold your fabric on the wrong side. I folded mine on the right side because the shock was not showing. Alright, so because it's an off shoulder, you are supposed to minus 5, but then we are not going to be minusing 5 because we needed elastic casing of 1 inch. So instead of minusing 5, I'm going to be minusing 4. So just place your tape rule like I'm showing you here, and then you measure down, you minus your 4, then you measure down your armhole. The armhole I'm using is 9. I'll measure the 9 inches. Then I'll measure the waistline. The waist is 17 inches. Then plus 1 inch seam allowance. I use 1 inch here because we still need another elastic casing on the waistline. So instead of putting half allowance, I decided to use 1. Alright, then I'm going to extend all the lines. So starting from the folded edge here, you're going to be inputting your measurement. This folded edge here is your center front and center back. So starting from the folded edge, you measure your shoulder measurement divided by 2. The shoulder is 16 divided by 2 is 8 inches. I'll make a point. Then I'll measure that same 8 inches on the chest line, that is that your armhole line. Then I'm going to roll it. It's just to get a straight line there. Then after that, I'll place my French cuff. Then I'll get my armhole cuff. So we're going to be inputting our circumference measurements now. On your chest line, that is that your armhole line, you put your bust measurement divided by 4 plus ½ inch ease plus ½ inch seam allowance. Then on the waistline, I'm going to be inputting my hip measurements. Note, put hip measurement on your waistline. So on the waistline, I'll put my hip measurements divided by 4 plus ½ inch ease plus ½ inch seam allowance. So the hip is 42 divided by 4 gives me 10.5 plus ½ inch ease plus ½ inch allowance. Then after that, I'll connect the chest line to the waistline. Then I'm going to cut it out. So the next thing now is to cut the trouser part of our jumpsuit. So first fold your fabric into 2, then after that again you fold it over into 4. So the fabric is folded into 4 now. So we are going to be putting our crotch measurement. Starting from the edge of the fabric like that, you measure down your crotch length. Your crotch is your hip measurement divided by 4. But then because it's a jumpsuit, you had 3 inches to it. So your crotch is your hip measurement divided by 4 plus 3 inches. But then we still need 1 inch for the elastic casing on the waistline. So I'm still going to be adding 1 inch to this measurement. So here I use 14.5 as the crotch length. That is 42 divided by 4 gives me 10.5 plus 4 inches. That 4 inches includes the elastic casing. Alright, so I will measure down the length of the trouser. The length of this trouser is your total length minus the half length. So the total length is 60 inches minus 17 inches. Half length gives me 43. Then I'll add 2 inches for my hemming allowance. So on my crotch line, I'm going to be putting my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1. And note, the jumpsuit is not going to have a side seam. There will be no side seam for this jumpsuit. So then from that point, you measure your crotch extension. The crotch extension is your hip measurement divided by 10. So you make a point like that. So whatever you use on your crotch line, you're going to use the same thing on your waistline as well. So just put your hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch on the waistline also. Remember, we did the same thing on the half length. We use hip measurement on the waistline on the half length. So you use exactly the same thing. Then you roll it straight like that. So you use your cuffed part and then you get your flap, your crotch cuff like that. So just place your half length, the waist of the half length, place it on the waist of the trouser and be sure you have the same measurements. Just confirm it. We use hip measurement on the waist on both the half length and also on the trouser part. So just align them and see if you have the exact measurement because they need to be equal. So we are going to cut it out. You are only going to be cutting the inseam area. The out seam doesn't have any joining. Alright, so when that is done, the next thing now is to cut the gather on the neckline. So you need your round shoulder measurement for this. My round shoulder is 44. So I'm going to cut that 44 twice. So one is going to be for the front and the other one is going to be for the back. And the length of this pleat is going to be 9.5. You can decide to measure yours or use whatever you want, but this 9.5 is what I always use and it always works fine. So that's my 9.5 there, and I'm going to cut that out. So here is it. The width here is 44 and the length is 9.5. So I'm going to be cutting another one exactly like this. So I've cut out the second one. One of them is going to be for the front and the other is going to be for the back. So it's just one long strip that measures 44 inches by 9.5. So don't forget to put your notches. This is the upper part of the jumpsuit. I'm going to be notching the center of the shoulder like that. Then the strip I cut out for the gather, I'm going to be notching the midpoint of each of them as well. Alright, so this is how it's going to look like at the end of the day. This long strip will be gathered on top of the upper bodice like that. And here is the trouser part of our jumpsuit. There will be no side seam. The side is folded, as you can see. Alright, so when you open it up, you have two pieces. It's two pieces. So one is going to be for one part of the leg and the other one for the other side of the leg. So this is how it looks. There will be no side joining. So we're going to be sewing our jumpsuit now. The first thing is to fold your your cape, that is that gathered part. First fold the end like that, fold half inch and then fold over again. Then you're going to run your stitch. You do the same thing for the two pieces. All right, so the next thing now is to put bias on the armhole. Just use your bias to finish the armhole of the upper bodice. You're going to sew the bias on the right side of each of the armhole opening. So when you're done sewing it to the right side, you turn the bias to the wrong side and then you top stitch it. Alright, so we're done finishing the edges. So the next thing now is to work on the trouser part. So the first step is to fold the lower part of your trouser. Fold once and then you fold it over again using the allowance you added at the hem line. So you do the same thing to the other side of the trouser as well. Alright, so we are done. So the next thing you want to do now is to join the crotch side. So fold the trouser together like I'm showing you, right side facing. So it's going to be like this. So the next thing you want to do now is to join this crotch line. And you're going to join this with half inch seam allowance. So if you remember, while cutting this trouser, we only added 1 inch. So that 1 inch, you have half for your ease and then half for this particular joining you're doing here. So don't join with more than half inch. Alright, so when you're done with one side, you repeat the same thing to the other leg as well. Alright, we're done joining the inseam of our trouser. So the next thing you want to do now, you can see this is the way it's looking. So the next thing you want to do now is to join it together, to join these two legs together to become one. Alright, so what you do next is to bring one pair, this one here, you bring it to the right side. So the next thing now is to tuck this one that is on the right side, to tuck it in into the one that is on the wrong side. So just tuck it in. And then you match their crouch together. You can see that joining there. Match it with the joining of the other side. Like that. Then you're going to sew the crouch all around. So by the time you finish doing this, they will be into one piece. Alright, so this is it. So you keep this aside and then you work on the upper part of the jumpsuit. So this is the gathered strip that will cut out. I'll notch the center. Then I'll open it up. Wrong side, wrong side facing up. Then I'll take the main body of the upper bodice, I'll place it on top of it, and I'll match their center together. The wrong side of the upper bodice is facing up as well. So basically the right side is facing the wrong side of the gathered piece. Then I'll pin the center together. Then I'm going to run a stitch and join the two of them together. So you repeat the same thing to the other side of the upper bodice. Alright, so just join it together with your sewing machine. Alright, so I'm done joining. So this is how it's looking. So the next thing is to turn it to the right side. This is it from the right side. So you open the cape away from the bodice like so, and then you place the other side on top of it, right side to right side. So just place it on top of it, and then you flip the gathered piece away like so. Then you're going to join the sides together. Remember, we added just ½ inch, so you sew the sides with ½ inch seam allowance. So the right side is facing each other, and then you stitch with ½ inch seam allowance. Alright, so I'm done joining the sides together. The next thing you want to do now is to bring it to the right side. So it's on the right side now. You're going to be working on the gathered parts next. So now the gathered part, the right side is already facing each other. You're going to sew close the sides with ½ inch seam allowance. So you're going to be sewing here with ½ inch. Then at the other side, you do the same thing. Match them together, right side facing each other, and then you sew it close. Alright, so I'm done joining the sides together. So the next thing you want to do now is to fold your elastic casing for the upper part. So just open it up, then you fold once, you fold with ¼ inch, then you fold over again. Then you run your stitch all around like so. So I'm done joining the elastic casing. The next thing you want to do now is to join this upper part to the trouser part. So this is the trouser part. The first step is to notch the sides. Notch the sides of your trouser. Then next you join it together on the waistline. Alright, so the first step now is to bring it to the wrong side. Just bring the upper bodice to the wrong side. So this is it. Then I'm going to turn it this way so that it can be easy for me to align. So I'll take the trouser part. Then you see that's the notching on the sides, and this is the right side. So you put it inside like so. And then you're going to match the side notching of your trouser to the side seam of the upper bodice. Then you pin. You do the same thing to the other side. Match the side notching of the trouser to the side seam of the upper bodice and pin. You may want to pin the center as well. So the next thing is to take to your sewing machine and then you sew with 1 inch allowance all around. Remember we added 1 inch, so join with 1 inch allowance all around. Alright, so I'm done joining the waist area together. So this is how it's looking now. So the next thing is to open it up. And then we're going to be creating our elastic casing on the waistline. So you can see this is how it's looking. Let me zoom it for us to see. Alright, so this is how it's looking. This is our seam there. You see we have 1 inch allowance. This is 1 inch allowance. So the next thing you want to do now is to flip this allowance to the upper bodice. Flip it to the upper bodice. Then you fold 1/4 inch inward like so. You fold 1/4 inch inward like so, then you pin it. Then you're going to be top stitching this to the upper bodice all around the waist area. So before you finish, you just leave a little space where you'll be able to pass through your elastic. So your elastic for the shoulder area is going to be your round shoulder measurement minus 6 inches. While the elastic for the waist area is going to be your waist circumference minus 6 inches. So I've cut all these things out. So you just use your safety pin to push in your elastic all around the shoulder area and all around the waist area. And then your jumpsuit is ready. So I've put my elastic on the shoulder area. So I'll just use my machine to join it together. Just do back and forth stitch like 4 to 5 times to reinforce the elastic. Then after that, you're going to close the opening that you left for the casing. So I'm done with the upper part. The next thing now is the waist area. I'll put my safety pin on my elastic again. Then I'm going to push my elastic all around the waist area with the little opening that I left. And I've told you the length of this elastic is your waist measurement minus 6 inches, or you can just wrap the elastic around your waist area. And for the shoulder as well, you can just wrap your elastic around your shoulder too. So when you're done passing the elastic through the casing, you're going to join the mouth of the elastic together. Just do a back and forth stitch on the elastic to reinforce it. And then you arrange the elastic nicely inside like so. And don't forget to close the little opening that you passed the elastic through when you're done. Alright, that's it. Our jumpsuit is ready. So for the styling, you can wear it as an off shoulder. You can also wear it as a mono strap. And you can also wear it on your shoulder. Like you can have it completely on your shoulder. And then you can have it completely off like this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.